back in 1980 and has received over 60% of the vote in each election since then. Disneyland is reopening next month. The iconic theme park says it'll start welcoming back visitors on April the 1st. The state of California is allowing all theme parks to reopen at 15% capacity. Some rides will remain closed. Disneyland and California theme parks have been shut down for nearly a year because of the pandemic. Only folks allowed to go to the parks right now will be Californians. A new CDC study shows that places with mask mandates and restaurant restrictions have lower case numbers and deaths related to COVID-19. States where dining on site is allowed at restaurants saw illnesses and death rates speed up. Places where on-premises dining is allowed saw significant case increases just 60 days after restrictions were lifted. Texas and Mississippi announced they would lift mask mandates and reopen businesses, with other states poised to do the same. For iNews, I'm Nikki Whaley.
Attention business owners, listen carefully to this important message. Are you tired of struggling with monthly bookkeeping or always being behind? Maybe you're fed up with paying your CPA ridiculously high hourly rates for subpar services. At Finance Pal, we know your pain. We're small business owners who understand your tax and accounting needs. At Finance Pal, we take over your books and design a program custom tailored to fit your needs. Whether it's bookkeeping, payroll, bill pay, inventory tracking, or taxes, we have you covered. We handle some or all of these services for one flat, affordable, low monthly fee. Stop worrying about your books and drowning in paperwork. Let us worry while you focus on growing your business. This setup is easy, and we give you the tools and technology to make your monthly finances streamlined and organized.
Call now at 800-509-2135 for a free business assessment. That's 800-509-2135. 800-509-2135.
Finance Pal, the only friend your business needs.
It's important to remove yourself from toxic relationships in your life. And as Jared reminds us, that could include some of your investments.
If you're in a losing trade, and let me just say, we're not talking about long-term investments. We're not talking about your 401k. We're not talking about your mutual funds. This is your stock portfolio. Think about what you are doing. If you're in a losing trade, do you hope that it's going to come back? Geez, I really hope this comes back. Are you praying that it's going to come back? Hope is not a strategy. You should cut your losses. You should sell it. Now, obviously, you have to have some tolerance for losses. If a stock goes down 1%, I don't think you should sell it. But if a stock goes down 20 or 30%, you sell the stock and get on with your life.
The Jared Dillian Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on Smart Talk and on demand at smarttalkradionetwork.com.
Welcome, everyone, to Inside the Skev, and I'm your host, Aaron Masliansky. Today, we're joined by Jackie Melinger, and Jackie's from Home Instead, which is in Skokie, and My Personal Bookkeeper. These two businesses go hand in hand as they provide critical support services for the senior communities and many others of the North Shore, and they're located right here in Skokie. So this is, I think, a really important topic for many people throughout the area. Whether you need the services or you have family members that could really use it. And Jackie and I got to know each other a little bit a couple months ago. We were introduced and we had a great conversation. And it's just so amazing how small of a world it is, because we had never met before. But, it turns out that there's obviously what you do, I think, is really important. And I think it's great for the community. But we have a really personal connection to where I grew up. So tell us a little bit about that. You grew up in Skokie, right? And yeah.
I grew up in Skokie, was born and raised there. My husband as well. He grew up on the border of Skokie and Evanston. We did not meet until we went away to college. But Skokie, we've always said, is the center of our universe. My parents, who were Holocaust survivors, settled in Skokie along with many, many other survivors. I think Skokie had the largest population of Holocaust survivors in the world outside of Israel at one time. So it was a very comfortable place for me to grow up, felt very safe. And I think what you were referring to that we found in common, somehow I asked you, where did you grow up in Skokie?
And Dr. Korshak Terrace.
Yeah, Dr. Korshak Terrace. I said, wait a second. I know that. My parents were very instrumental in getting that street named for Dr. Janusz Korczak. They and a few of their friends started an organization, I think in the late 60s through B'nai B'rith, and they named their unit Dr. Korczak B'nai B'rith Unit. And then the group devoted themselves to keeping his memory alive. And I was reading up on it the other day just to make sure I knew my facts here, because I was only 4 years old when it was dedicated, and I was at the dedication, and I remember it because my parents talked about it throughout their lives, and there were photos in the house of me as a little girl laying a wreath of flowers on that stone that has his plaque with his name on it. So anytime I drive past it on Church Street, I kind of turn my head and look and think about Dr. Korczak and his memory and think about my parents.
That's so cool. And, just recently that stone was restored. So it would kind of get into a little bit of disrepair, but through the work of neighbors and the village of Skokie and the Holocaust Museum, Illinois Holocaust Museum, they were able to get it restored. And, people don't know that story of who Janusz Korczak was, but he was a great man who led an orphanage in the Holocaust and went with the children to, unfortunately, to the gas chambers.
Right.
And, but, was one of the heroes of the Holocaust. And it's an honor to live on the street and an honor to know that you were there and your family was instrumental in that. So, so cool.
Yeah. There's also a park, a Dr. Janusz Korczak Park, that the same group made that happen. It's somewhere around Peterson and Western. And
Really?
I'm going to make it my mission to go there this summer.
Oh,
Check
I had no idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
please let me know.
It comes up on the Chicago Park District website.
Okay. Wow.
Park, yeah,
I have
so
to go
kind of
there
cool.
and check that out myself.
Yeah.
So people who may know, I was talking to my grandmother that I was having you on. What is your maiden name so people know?
My maiden name is Rosenzweig
So
with a funny spelling, very Polish spelling.
so they may know your family, but
Yeah.
I want to get to why you're here today, which is the businesses that you have here, located here in Skokie, and serving the whole North Shore, serving Evanston. How did you guys get into this field?
So I got into the senior care industry in my mid-20s. I had gone to graduate school and I'd studied public relations and then human resources in grad school. And I was working in corporate America and feeling very unfulfilled with what I was doing. And my dad happened to know someone who was a nursing home owner, and they were schmoozing, talking about their families, and he just was telling him what I was doing and what my degrees were in. And the owner said, I need someone like that to come work for me. So my dad put us in touch, and I began working in nursing homes for about, I think I spent 5 years. I was doing admissions, and then I worked my way up and got licensed as a nursing home administrator. And so really learned the senior care industry, and then took a break and started a family and didn't work for a few years. And then my husband decided it would be great for him to start a business. We were trying to figure out what. And so we looked into franchising, having no idea that something like senior care could be a franchise. And we found Home Instead, and we went to visit them at their corporate office. We were so impressed with their mission and the way they run their organization. And so we purchased a franchise and started doing it. It worked so perfectly with my background.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always loved seniors. My parents, I was kind of a late in life baby, so they were older, and I didn't have grandparents because of the Holocaust. So I always have been drawn to anyone older, still to this day, anyone older than me, the older generation. I just love to sit and talk to them. And so helping seniors was really a great mission for me and something that I've always enjoyed. And Home Instead's been a great organization. It's our 20th year in the Home Instead franchise.
It's pretty inspiring that you have such a great connection to the senior community. One of the things that Home Instead, it basically it means being able to age in place, to be in your own home without having to go to a nursing home until you might need those services more necessarily. But for me, in my profession, I'm a real estate agent. I got some additional education and what's called a senior real estate specialist, SRES. And I learned a lot about, the different ways that, seniors can live either at home and having a service like this or moving and going into a, facility that can help them. But why is it in some ways a better solution for some people to be in their own home rather than going to a different community?
Sure. It depends on the situation. I'm not saying that everybody should stay at home because sometimes they are better off being in an assisted living where they're around people, or they need skilled care and need to be in a nursing home. But for many people, aging in place is just something that they really want. They've said all their life, don't put me in a nursing home. I don't want to go anywhere else. I love my home. I worked hard to pay this home off.
Yeah.
It was their pride and joy. And a lot of times, even with someone who maybe has some cognitive decline, a move is very difficult on them, and they're very confused, and it takes a long, long time. And sometimes it makes them worse to have the move. But being at home is just comfortable for them if you can, take safety precautions in the home and, put in grab bars and things that they need to make sure they're safe, and have somebody, if they can't be alone, have someone there with them. For some people, they don't want to go live around a lot of people. They like the quiet of their home and the familiar surroundings.
For sure. And how did you decide to open up in Skokie? And by the way, for those who want to know, where is your office?
So our office is on Niles Center Road, just north of Dempster. There's the McDonald's on the corner, and we're behind that McDonald's, and across the street from the Chicago Jewish Funerals.
Okay.
And we have a 2-story building. Our Homestead office is on the 2nd floor, and my personal bookkeeper is one of the offices on the 1st floor.
So they kind of work hand in hand for sure.
Yeah.
What did you just find that there's a lot of customers that you can find in this area, and then do you base all your operations throughout the North Shore from there?
Yes. So we have a set territory because it's a franchise. So we take care of the north suburbs, like going up to Glencoe, and then we go west for Glenview, part of Northbrook, and then all the way to like Park Ridge, Des Plaines. And then we also have the Gold Coast area. So Skokie was pretty centrally located within our territory. But truthfully, from day one, my husband and I moved north. We live in Highland Park, but Skokie has always been our home, and our parents were still in Skokie. And we just literally have always said it's just the center of our world. And we thought it was just the perfect place to open our business.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be close to public transportation because some of our caregivers don't have cars. And so in order for them to come to our office, it was very good for us to be near the Skokie Swift train station.
You're only a couple blocks away from there, which certainly makes it convenient. And, speaking of staff, I mean, that's something I definitely want to get into a little bit later in this episode, how you guys have coped throughout this time, throughout the pandemic, because in addition to your clients and keeping them safe, it's keeping your staff safe and how you deal with that. So that is definitely something that could be very interesting to get to know a little bit more about how you've dealt with that. But I think some of the things I want to discuss would be like, what does my personal bookkeeper do and how does that go hand in hand? So I think that, knowing people who are seniors and knowing where things start to get complicated, trying to deal with care, you're trying to deal with your bills, you're trying to deal with your taxes or whatnot. So have you seen that it's been just such a great, combination?
It is. It really works well together. And that's the reason that we actually purchased the business. It used to be called the Sproul Advocate Group. It was started by Kathy Sproul about a year and a half after we started our homestead. And my husband and Kathy knew each other from out networking in the community. And we just thought Kathy had a great idea. We thought her business was something that was so needed. And so we referred clients to her and she referred to us.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we come back. Everyone stick around and we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search. From immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses, my clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com.
Mortgage rates have reached record lows recently. If you see homeownership in your future, the future is now. Think of Beth Lewis at Cross Country Mortgage as your personal mortgage shopper. She'll sort through racks and racks of home financing options until she finds exactly the right style and fit for you. She'll get you pre-approved to give you an advantage over other buyers, and she'll close your loan quickly with a highly efficient process driven by advanced mortgage technology. In 2020, Beth closed over $294 million in loans in 883 separate transactions. Beth will be here for you too, because helping people get mortgages is what she does best. Visit BethLewisTeam.com to get started. That's BethLewisTeam.com, or call 847-274-9745. That's 847-274-9745. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity, Illinois residential mortgage licensee. Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to First Class Moving and Storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to First Class Moving and Storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number one, stclassmovers.com.
Here's today's top automotive tech story. I'm Nick Miles. Ford is taking a significant step forward in its European transformation with a commitment to go all in on its electric passenger vehicles and substantially grow and electrify its leading commercial vehicle business. By mid-2026, 100% of Ford's passenger vehicle range in Europe will be zero-emission capable, all-electric or plug-in hybrid electric, and will be completely all-electric by 2030. For more automotive tech news, go to testmiles.com.
These may be uncertain times, but what is certain is that every family needs a reliable thermometer. Protect your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
Are you tired of every radio station just sounding the same? On the Smart Talk Radio Network, we give you that alternative you've always wanted. No topics are out of bounds. No agendas being pushed. It really is that revolutionary. Listen for yourself at smarttalkradionetwork.com.
Reading, writing, and math are a struggle for a lot of young students. At BrainLinks, we know those skills are what paves the way to independence and success. Our specialists will help your child develop the habits they need to make sure they strive, not only in class, but out in the world in general. And of course, for everyone's safety, our lessons are done completely online. For more info on our team members and to schedule your initial consultation, visit BrainLinksAcademics.com. That's BrainLinksAcademics.com.
It's JT and Leanne. Join us for Married with Microphones.
Special guests, hot news topics, and our hilarious relationship report cards.
Saturdays, 6 p.m. on WCGO.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Skev. And today we are here with Jackie Melinger, and we've been talking about her businesses, Home Instead in Skokie, and My Personal Bookkeeper, and want to get a little bit more into what those services are that you provide. So tell us a little bit about both of them, Home Instead and My Personal Bookkeeper.
It's caregivers in people's homes, wherever they may be residing at the moment. So whether it's in their private home or they need extra assistance in their assisted living or even in a nursing home or during a hospital stay. But our caregivers do, supervision, personal care, medication reminders, companionship, dementia care, help them run errands, get the groceries, whatever they may need in order to stay living at, their place of residence and be safe.
So is it somebody who's dedicated to you where you're not switching people all the time, or can you get like 24-hour care if you need it?
It's some of all of it. You can get 24-hour care. Absolutely. You can get someone as like a live-in where you'd have two different people because they don't actually live in, but they stay there for a few days at a time.
Sure.
And then you can also get whatever you need. If you just need 4 hours a day every day, or you want 8 hours a day, 12 hours, or you need, truly need supervision 24 hours a day, and you can't have a caregiver who sleeps, then you can have what we call shift work and have two different people each do 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
So we can do anything, and we try our hardest to keep the same caregiver with the same client, especially now during the pandemic. But as if the client's needs change or schedules change, sometimes there needs to be changes.
Well, I imagine you have a lot of people though that work for you, so then you have that flexibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if a caregiver calls off sick, or if a client, decides this wasn't the right match for them, we can send someone else always.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Now, is it, do you guys help with, sometimes I guess Medicare can pay for some of these things. Do you help with that, or how does that work?
Medicare does not cover caregiving. Medicare only covers skilled care. So when you have a home health need where you need a nurse to come and, look at a wound or or you have a physical therapist coming, that's covered by Medicare. But caregiving is usually private pay,
Okay.
or if people have long-term care insurance, it's covered by long-term care. And we do file the claims for people.
Is it a more affordable option than going to a community?
It depends on the community you're going to,
Yeah.
and it depends on the level of care you need. If you can get by with 8 hours a day of caregiving and you're okay, at night, then you're definitely saving money by staying at home. And the other thing to consider is, do you need one-on-one care all day? Are your needs that strong that you need somebody? Then staying at home and having a caregiver is a better option,
Yeah.
because you won't have one-on-one care in a facility.
And with my personal bookkeeper, what does that mean? Does somebody just help you do your taxes, which, right now I'm sure is on a lot of people's minds, and I don't care what age you are, you may want somebody helping you with that.
Exactly.
And by the way, do you help anybody with that at any age?
We do all ages. We start out with, I was going to say, our youngest would be the new adult. We're promoting a package for people as they graduate from college and they need to learn the difference between gross pay and net pay and how to budget. Can they afford to get an apartment? Should they get a credit card? How do they fill out the forms for their 401k? So we can help someone like that on a short-term basis. We can help young, busy families, people in transition of going through divorce or recently widowed. And then we help seniors. And in many cases, we have some seniors who are just living life and before the pandemic, traveling and enjoying, and they don't want to be bothered with staying home and working, figuring out how to do their bills when they're on the go. So they hired us. And for some people, it's because they're slowing down cognitively, but they don't want to have their children take over their finances. They like the idea of hiring someone. They maybe always had a secretary or a bookkeeper at work, and now they'd like to have somebody do that for them and help them remain independent. They feel like they're still in control and they're still doing it themselves and making their own decisions. We're just there to help with the actual work and keep them on track.
So is it something where you can have your bills sent to somebody who works in your office and then you guys will pay everything and you have access to the bank accounts to help with writing checks and whatever may be online?
It can be. And we don't, our people don't work from our office. They either go to the client's home or they work from home.
Okay.
And every single client is different. No two are alike. So everything is customizable. And some people want what you just described, like just take it. I don't want to be involved. I'm comfortable with you doing online banking. Provide me with a report. We always want somebody to be watching for transparency's sake, either their accountant or their attorney or a family member, their power of attorney, to be checking in and in communication with us, and we give them updates on everything we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just decide to have all their mail forwarded to a post office box, and we get all the mail and we deal with everything for them. Some people, as I said, want to stay involved, and cognitively for an older person, it's good for them to stay involved. It's a really good activity. So we're actually starting to be able to go back into people's homes now, because I call them client advocates, not bookkeepers, because they do so much advocating for their clients. They've been vaccinated, and everybody we're talking to on the phone now has been vaccinated, which is so exciting. So they're getting back into their homes and, wearing masks and still keeping some social distance, but able to be in there again. So when they're in the home, they can sit and review bills together and make decisions together, make phone calls to a vendor together, whereas this might be confusing and difficult for the older person to have the conversation and remember, keep track of what the person on the other end said, but they're still involved in the call. And our client advocate is making sure that we accomplish what was needed. So often we are not accountants. We don't actually file tax returns, but we gather all the documents needed for the tax return, and then we can take care of scanning it all and uploading it to the accountant's portal.
That is so key, that to be able to help somebody with all that, because it could be really overwhelming. Well, it's really important that you're doing this. I want to talk after the break a little bit more about how you've shifted during the pandemic, and we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search, from immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses. My clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com.
Mortgage rates have reached record lows recently. If you see homeownership in your future, the future is now. Think of Beth Lewis at Cross Country Mortgage as your personal mortgage shopper. She'll sort through racks and racks of home financing options until she finds exactly the right style and fit for you. She'll get you pre-approved to give you an advantage over other buyers, and she'll close your loan quickly with a highly efficient process driven by advanced mortgage technology. In 2020, Beth closed over $294 million in loans in 883 separate transactions. Beth will be here for you too, because helping people get mortgages is what she does best. Visit BethLewisTeam.com to get started. That's BethLewisTeam.com, or call 847-274-9745. That's 847-274-9745. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity, Illinois residential mortgage licensee. Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to First Class Moving and Storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to First Class Moving and Storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number 1, stclassmovers.com.
Reading, writing, and math are a struggle for a lot of young students. At BrainLinks, we know those skills are what paves the way to independence and success. Our specialists will help your child develop the habits they need to make sure they strive, not only in class, but out in the world in general. And of course, for everyone's safety, our lessons are done completely online. For more info on our team members and to schedule your initial consultation, visit BrainLinksAcademics.com. That's BrainLinksAcademics.com.
Here is today's top automotive tech story. I'm Nick Miles. Hyundai has provided details for its significantly redesigned and enhanced 2022 Kona and Kona electric SUVs. Kona plays a key role in Hyundai's broader electrification strategy, combining electrified powertrains with a stylish subcompact SUV body configuration. In fact, Kona was the first Hyundai SUV with a fully electrified powertrain in the US. For more automotive tech news, go to testmiles.com.
These may be uncertain times, but what is certain is that every family needs a reliable thermometer. Protect your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
Are you tired of every radio station just sounding the same? On the Smart Talk Radio Network, we give you that alternative you've always wanted. No topics are out of bounds. No agendas being pushed. It really is that revolutionary. Listen for yourself at smarttalkradionetwork.com.
You're listening to Smart Talk
on AM 1590, 95.9 FM, the Smart Talk app, and WCGORadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Skev. We've been talking here with Jackie Melinger about her businesses, Home Instead and My Personal Bookkeeper. And, for businesses that deal with a lot of seniors over the past year, I imagine, for every business, it's been a challenge, but especially in this type of work, you must have had to be super careful, concerned about your clients and your employees. So how have you dealt with that with the pandemic?
A lot of stress.
Yeah.
It's been, it's been a rough year, definitely. We take it very seriously. We did not want to be responsible for anyone having COVID brought into their home or any caregiver getting it from a client. Some of that can't be avoided, but we've done everything possible. We've, from the very beginning, provided PPE. Before you could get it, we had somebody who was hand making masks and, cloth masks, and we were mailing them to all of our caregivers. We have constant communications. We communicate with our caregivers by text and email, some kind of COVID reminder every single day. We're, talking to them by phone. We do visits, and we have something for Home Instead. It's a home care tablet. It's called the GrandPad, and it is like an iPad, but it was created specifically for seniors. So seniors their skin is drier. And so if they try to use a regular iPad, sometimes it doesn't feel their touch. And so this has technology that will feel their touch. And this was made to be less complicated. The icons are very large, and it comes loaded with certain apps, and that's all you can get. And on ours, they're branded for Home Instead. The first app is Call Home Instead Now. So if they want to call our office, they just touch that, and they can now have a video chat with someone in our office. And we check in on those GrandPads on our clients, which helped a lot during the pandemic, where we don't want so many people going into a client's home. So we couldn't do in-person visits as much for supervision and quality. So we do these on the GrandPad, which we're calling the home care tablet more, but and we have a full conversation with the client and the caregiver. We can see if they're wearing their masks, if they're, doing something. If a client has a concern that there's, some kind of a rash or something on the client, they can call our office, and our nurse can look at it like a telehealth appointment.
Yeah.
And decide, you should call the doctor, or, whatever they might think. So that's been a really great tool for us. But really, constant communication has been the most important, and training. And as PPE became more available, we provide PPE for all of our caregivers. We have worked really hard to get our caregivers into the top tier of categories for the vaccination, and the village of Skokie has been wonderful, and gave us time slots for our caregivers. So we've had many of them vaccinated already, which is great news.
It's amazing.
Yeah, just amazing. And we do conduct testing for our caregivers in our office. So if somebody calls us and says, I have a headache or something, they come to the office and get tested.
That's amazing that you have all those resources, and a huge shout out to the Skokie Health Department. I mean, what they're doing is amazing. And, that's great that you guys have been able to get a lot of your caregivers vaccinated. And have you been able to help your customers navigate that to get themselves vaccinated? Because there are vaccines to be had. It's just you have to have some technical know-how, at least
Right.
up until this point. I know that they're opening up phone lines and the United Center's opening up where you can just go in. But how has that worked?
So we're sending them every resource that we receive of different places they can try to get their vaccine from. You're right, the technology part of it has been an obstacle,
Hmm.
but we've, had our staff have been helping people to try to do that. Through, like, we're doing it through the office for some of our people, or if the caregivers are able to help them do it, then they are doing it, or we'll talk to the son or daughter and give them options of where they should be trying to get the vaccinations.
That's key. Hopefully, in the next couple months, everybody is, and
I really
this could be kind of a memory.
Right, exactly, exactly. We've also had since the beginning our caregivers report on their, the questions that you have to answer as a screening. So take their temperature, have they had any exposure, all that. They really are answering those questions 4 times a day for us, where we're tracking it. So the minute we see a question answered funny, we call them and see what's going on with them.
But you're able to get tests, where you said that people can come to your office and get get tested, not vaccinated. That'd be better.
Yeah,
Um,
I wish, I wish.
yeah.
That was, through the Illinois Department of Public Health, we were able to get tests.
Now, is it like something like a saliva test, or how does that work?
It's in the nose and it's a rapid.
Oh, okay.
So it's not the PCR test, but sometimes we have people go get a PCR test afterwards to confirm the result, but it's a rapid test.
Well,
So
it's
it's nice. And
incredibly
we have
helpful
them
to
stay in
have.
their car and our nurse goes outside and does it
Yeah.
sort of as a drive-through.
Well, I think that's one of the benefits of having the network here that you have, to be able to get those tests, to get the PPE, to get all those things that are really critically important. I I have to ask you. I mean, as a for business marketing purposes, would you say that the service you provide and allowing people to stay inside their current homes can be of an advantage as opposed to living in a senior care facility? Or would you say it's pretty equal? Because, I know just from seeing things or talking to people, the senior care facilities are being incredibly careful to make sure that people don't get COVID. They keep it out, and not disparaging anybody, any organization by any means, but has that given your clients peace of mind that they could stay where they are?
Yeah, we found there were many people who had no desire to leave their home at this point in time and go into a facility, even if that maybe was their plan at one point. And they felt safer staying at home. And certainly at the beginning of the pandemic, things were bad in nursing homes. But most of the facilities in our area, I would say all, have done such a great job of mitigating this.
Hmm.
And they are taking all the same precautions that we take. And I think they're doing a great job and have decreased the numbers. And I think it's safe. I think the hard part for several months was that clients couldn't leave their room, not clients, residents and patients couldn't leave their room or their apartment. And that was hard, very hard. So
I can imagine. I mean,
having no visitors, yeah.
yeah, I'd say one of the saving graces of just the time that we're dealing with this is that we're able to have these kind of digital conversations over Zoom or FaceTime. And I've been able to talk to my grandparents that way, or when it was warmer, eh, be able to go outside. But the vaccines, I think, are going to change the game, which is really amazing. But I think that working with the isolation, I mean, is that something that you've been able to bring in maybe a social worker or a psychologist to help with that type of isolation where, for you, you're dealing with people who can't leave their house, but, it's better than being stuck in a room, but still.
Right. Absolutely. If we've seen a need for it, we've suggested, recommended they talk to someone, and we've maybe referred somebody that we know for them to call.
Yeah.
In many cases, though, they've said having a caregiver come every day has been, a saving grace for them. It is somebody to talk to
Hmm.
and to play a game with and watch a movie with and eat a meal with. It's so hard for people who, I was just talking to someone else this week from my synagogue actually about people who eat their meals all alone day in and day out. Eating is a social thing, and you may not remember to eat a meal, or you may not care really to sit down and eat a meal if you're by yourself for every single one. So having someone to share it with really does make a difference and helps in your well-being.
Yeah. It's it's such an interesting thing to think about. Just, having a meal with other people. I mean, I'm lucky I have my wife and 2 kids, so we are able to eat together.
Right.
But it's just, yeah, you could even forget, you can get depressed and just not want to eat. So,
Yeah,
just
right.
having the companionship is so key. That's why, when I opened up the show, I said that this is a critical service that you provide. It is. I mean, there are so many, um, people that are alone right now, and what you do is just, it saves people. It saves them from, isolation. It could be, making sure that people are healthy, or having things, having their hygiene taken care of. I mean, taken to the doctor, taken to the grocery. I mean, well, maybe not going in there, but
Or facilitating a telehealth appointment.
yes,
They wouldn't have been able to do on their own, but our caregiver can help them do that.
yeah. One thing that I wonder of what's going to come out of this from the pandemic in terms of what you do. So, and we'll talk about this. We're going to have another break, but I want to know like your thoughts on the future of what's going to be taking place. Is telehealth going to be much more standard? And do you think that, as we have more technological equipment where maybe some of these, people's vitals can be taken on a more regular basis, they can be wearing an Apple Watch or whatever type of device, and the doctor, nurses can monitor it on a more regular basis. I mean, is that something you see?
Yeah, I think technology is, there's always new technology being developed, and there's a lot of things in research right now. For people's safety in the home, there's ways of monitoring. Have they opened the refrigerator in the last 6 hours? You can put a monitor near their med box to see if that's been moved at all.
Mhm.
And I think some of those are in use and some of those are in development.
Well,
But I
I
think,
definitely want to talk more about that, but I think that's key, and I know that they have that in in many facilities too, like for Alzheimer's care and whatnot. So
Mhm.
we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about where you think the future's heading, and how as the baby boomers get a little bit older, where you think that's going. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search. From immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses, my clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com.
Mortgage rates have reached record lows recently. If you see homeownership in your future, the future is now. Think of Beth Lewis at Cross Country Mortgage as your personal mortgage shopper. She'll sort through racks and racks of home financing options until she finds exactly the right style and fit for you. She'll get you pre-approved to give you an advantage over other buyers, and she'll close your loan quickly with a highly efficient process driven by advanced mortgage technology. In 2020, Beth closed over $294 million in loans in 883 separate transactions. Beth will be here for you too, because helping people get mortgages is what she does best. Visit BethLewisTeam.com to get started. That's BethLewisTeam.com. Or call 847-274-9745. That's 847-274-9745. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Reading, writing, and math are a struggle for a lot of young students. At BrainLinks, we know those skills are what paves the way to independence and success. Our specialists will help your child develop the habits they need to make sure they strive, not only in class, but out in the world in general. And of course, for everyone's safety, our lessons are done completely online. For more info on our team members and to schedule your initial consultation, visit BrainLinksAcademics.com. That's BrainLinksAcademics.com.
Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to First Class Moving and Storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to First Class Moving and Storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number one, stclassmovers.com.
Good morning, privates! Good morning, Drill Sergeant! I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping. You seem to be in a good mood today. Astute observation.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
They're even shaped like hearts. So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone? Yes, Drill Sergeant!
Happy heart shapes are back for a limited time. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
Tired of lying awake, tossing and turning, just hoping for a few hours of sleep? Get the sleep you crave with the one-of-a-kind Tempur-Pedic. Only Tempur-Pedic uses proprietary Tempur material that continuously adapts and responds to your body to relieve pressure, so you get deep, uninterrupted sleep. All night, every night. Now's a perfect time to renew your sleep with the one-of-a-kind comfort of Tempur-Pedic and save up to $500 on adjustable mattress sets. Learn more at TempurPedic.com.
It's The Ramsey Show, where we talk about your life and your money. Listen weekdays at 1 on Chicago's Smart Talk, WCGO, AM and FM.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Skev, here with Jackie Melinger. And we've been talking this past hour about her businesses, Home Instead, and My Personal Bookkeeper. And, talking a lot about different things here with the services that they offer, how they've adjusted to the pandemic, really important things. And, one thing that I want to know is, what do you think it's going to be like as baby boomers age? Do you think that more people are going to stay in place and maybe shift to like houses that might be ranches or more adaptable? Or do you think that more people are going to go to independent living facilities, or what's your vision on it?
I think it's going to be a combination of both. I think there are those that just really want to be social and are used to having a lot of amenities and services and will want to go to independent living communities. And then there are those who have a beautiful home and maybe have a bedroom on the first floor, or would want to move into a ranch or a condo and just like staying at home. So I think it'll be a combination of both. I do think baby boomers are used to paying for services and are more willing to spend money than their parents were. So there will be a need for caregiving services and personal bookkeeper services and a lot of different things that seniors need, a lot of different services.
Yeah. And I think the transition into it would be the personal bookkeeper services.
Exactly.
Just take that off your plate. Why deal with that? I mean,
Hey, why bother?
and you could organize people's files digitally, whatever it may be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's get rid of, older people tend to become paper hoarders because they get so much junk mail that looks so real and they're just unsure. So they put it aside to come back to later. And before you know it, their whole countertop is covered with stacks of paper. And we come in and help them go through and, get rid of what they don't need, file or, scan and set up digital files so their kids can get into it when necessary. There's a lot of things that we can do. One that's really important is to check their credit card statements and make sure that there's no fraud going on, because that's really common these days. We're trying to really work hard to save people from fraud and identity theft. And then just costs that they don't need to be paying. Sometimes you sign up for something, you think it's a one-time payment, and you've actually signed up for a monthly subscription and you don't even realize it. So we try to look and, catch all those kinds of things for people.
You need it for kids too, because a few years ago, I got a bill for like $200 or something because my son bought some some coins or something on a video game. So
Exactly.
we
You're
need
paying
all
for it
that.
every
Yeah, I'm like,
time.
well, come on. I need my
That's the
personal
kind of stuff,
bookkeeper.
right, we're finding with our busy families that hire us. Like, there are all these ways we can save you money just by checking because you don't have the time to do it yourself.
Well, we need like hopefully the pandemic ends, but like a post-pandemic cleanup where you could just go through everybody's bills and see,
Right.
oh my God, like look at all these things I signed up for when I was at home and
Right.
don't need the subscription for anymore.
Yes, that is true. Yeah,
So where should people go if they want to inquire about your services and learn more?
sure. So if they want to learn more about our Home Instead company, they can go to homeinsteadchicago.com. Or for my personal bookkeeper services, it's mypersonalbookkeeper.com. And somebody just posted on Facebook the other day, bookkeeper is the only word with it's 2 O's, 2 K's, 2 E's in a
Ah.
row. So make sure you have 2 of each.
That's a good way to remember it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you guys can work, like you said, and my personal bookkeeper though, does that work anywhere or is that just
Anywhere.
Chicago?
We have a client in England, so we can work anywhere. As
Okay.
long as they're willing to work remotely and do online banking. Yeah.
And if somebody's listening, let's say in Dallas, Texas, just randomly, and they need the services of Home Instead, is that something that you could refer to the person
Sure.
who handles it there?
And they can just go to homeinstead.com and type in their zip code
Mhm.
and find a Home Instead franchise near them. And our company has really high standards, so all of the franchises do a great job.
Yeah, and you can trust that they're going to do the same work that you would do, they would do out there as well. Now, I mean, have you guys seen just an uptick in business over the past few months? Do you have the capacity to handle a lot more?
Yes and yes. So for Home Instead, the business has become a lot more longer hours. I think people are waiting longer to start care because they don't want to necessarily bring someone into the home if they don't absolutely need it. So people are waiting until they truly can't be alone anymore and they're hiring us for 24-hour care. That's
Mhm.
been a big change. We've always done that, but that's more of our client base now. And my personal bookkeeper, we've really had a lot more young families join us and call us for help because it's just been such a crazy time for everyone during the pandemic. So, but we have capacity to take on more clients. And we're always hiring for new caregivers so that we can take on more clients. And I have 12 client advocates who do the work of my personal bookkeeper, and they have time available to take on more clients.
Wow, that's a lot of people. I mean, you must be helping hundreds or so of clients around the area.
Yes, a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's, people listening to this, you just said that most people are waiting until they need 24-hour care. Maybe don't wait. If you can address the issues that you have, whether it be things that you need for home care or letting your bills pile up or your email or your mail, like take care of it now where then you can enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. If you just need some care during the day and you don't need 24 hours, you might prevent the fall that's going to put you in the hospital and have to have hip surgery and now need 24-hour care. So, it is better. Prevention is, worth, I can't think of the saying, but it's important to do what's needed and to plan. You should plan for the future. I'm amazed. Some people call my personal bookkeeper and they say, I don't really need much yet, but I think I will down the line. So I'd like to start a relationship with you. And I think that's great. You should be planning
Yeah.
for your future.
And maybe start with a few services.
Exactly. That's what those people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been great to really educate the public on what you do, that there are options that are out there, and really that, there's people of all ages and all different needs throughout this community. And we have the services that can help everybody around here, which is what I want to get across to everyone, that, why Skokie and Evanston are both great places to be and live.
Mm-hmm.
So again, to find you, homeinsteadchicago.com and mypersonalbookkeeper.com.
Correct. And you can find the phone numbers to our offices on those websites too.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. And, for people who want to learn more about the different people that I have on the show, go to skevinson.com. I have had different people who worked in, like I said, all these different industries and whatnot. So it's really, again, fantastic. But, hopefully everybody at your company is able to get vaccinated soon. And so if you have fear of bringing people into your home, hopefully that will lessen knowing that your employees are covered.
Yes.
Well, Jackie, thank you very much for coming on. The Hannah and Fred Show, you're welcome. Stick around for the Hannah and Fred Show. They'll be coming on soon today. But wishing everybody a great week. Tune in next Sunday, 10 a.m. And thanks for listening and watching.